Nella collezione littica dell'Università di Cagliari sono presenti anche i cosiddetti strumenti pesanti, cioè
è un edificio romano, presumibilmente imperiale, che
I'm Mattia Sanna and I'm a PhD student in public archaeology from the University of Cagliari. For DELPHI, I will present my own project entitled Thesauras, Common Paths in Heritage Interpretation, focused on Topic 2, Co-creation of Heritage Interpretation as a tool for local engagement. The project Thesauras, Common Path in Heritage Interpretation is a simulation of an educational format, scalable and reproducible. The course provides a blended learning with mixed activities both online and face-to-face. It integrates the methods of citizen science with those of heritage interpretation in order to accompany the heritage communities along cognitive paths that from research led to the interpretation of cultural heritage. Thesaurus, at the moment, does not yet have its own organic practical experimentation, but it draws inspiration and combines many experiences of educational design, gained from a long-time collaboration between Vestigia Unica, the Laboratory of Didactics and Communication of the University of Cagliari, and Association Imago Mundi Onlus, that created the large-scale community engagement event Open Monuments. On another level, it is also inspired by European actions to support participatory governance of cultural heritage, with particular regard to the European Commission's protocols on responsible research and innovation, able to ensure a balance between research objectives and compliance with social sustainability. The free and widespread access to large amounts of scientific data has contributed, as never before, to enhance the evidences of the past, responding positively to an increased need of history. On the other hand, the disintermediation of the processes of production and consume of historical information has amplified the phenomena of political manipulation of the past, conflictual polarization of the audience, and extreme dumbing down of the public debate on cultural heritage, with a progressive loss of confidence in the knowledge and skills of traditional epistemic authorities. In a deeply changed learning environment, education becomes strategic for the diffusion of free and critical thinking, also through the dissemination of the cognitive components of scientific method. It is often suggested that historical reasoning can be enhanced by historical inquiry activities using primary sources. A promising approach to improve historical reasoning is the so-called dialogic teaching. Through this method, teachers try to create collective and supportive classrooms talk. In this framework, Thesauras proposes to respond to three general goals. 1. Science education, educating students to extract, manage, analyze, and disseminate information on cultural heritage using scientific methods and reliable tools. 2. Education for research and cooperative interpretation compatible with the European values, introducing students to the construction of research projects aimed to collaborative heritage interpretation, open to the participation of different actors. 3. Building the heritage community and greater mutual accreditation, involving the most active parts of citizenship in the discovery of different cultural values, protecting free access to qualified historical information, and sharing responsibilities related to care and maintenance of heritage. For this simulation, it was decided to test the Thesaurus project with a second grade upper class, EQF4, engaged in the preparation actions for the Italian large-scale local engagement event Open Monuments. This event, since 1994, encourages hundreds of schools and thousands of volunteers to adopt a monument for their own community and to offer to random visitors their personal guided tours for a weekend per year. In the preparation of the guided tours, volunteers are asked to reinterpret the cultural heritage entrusted to them in the light of an annual theme suggested by Imago Mundi and inspired by European values. Alfat Thesaurus project, aimed primarily at an upper second grade class, it must be thought as a process of continuous interaction between different types of subjects, which forms the local heritage community. In line with the general objectives, the training course Thesaurus is structured in 3 different educational modules, with specific learning objectives, each of which consists of different educational actions. Each single action is composed according to the same structure that provides input, task, and feedback. In the Module 1, Thesaurus and other open access instruments for historical research, the general objective is to give strength to science education. The DELPHI competencies that the module aims at are competence number 1 and competence number 13. To do this, 5 different educational actions are foreseen. The action A1.1, the past and does, deals with the theme of the forces that the composition of a group can exert on the construction of heritage interpretation. The second action, We and the Phenomena, is an on-site survey focused on the critical evaluation of sensory experiences, knowledge or previous convictions of the students about the monument. The third action, Who Said This, brings students closer to a general method of source criticism, focused on the distinction between facts and meanings. The action 4, Kinds of Sources and Where to Find Them, focuses on the mapping of the basins where useful data that describe the adopted monument is kept. In this case, the groups will do this on the Thesaurus platform, recording both institutional sites, like archaeological museums, archives, picture galleries, libraries, or potential sites of conservation. For example, neighborhood association, parish groups, eyewitness of historical events, local passionate researchers, professionals. The last action of this module, the mainstream past within the present, is aimed at recording on the Thesaurus platform facts and meanings that in the present contribute to form the dominant interpretation of the monument. The second module is Common Histories in European Histories. The general objective of this module is to introduce students to the construction of collaborative research and heritage interpretation processes, starting from a preordinated theme and in line with European values. The DELPHI competencies that the module aims at are competence number 3, number 9, number 10, and number 11. To do this, 3 different educational actions are foreseen. The first one, considering hidden facts and meaning of heritage communities, is an action that is expressed through playful and informal encounters between students and the heritage communities, in order to educate students to consider the values and meanings of other stakeholders, integrating them into their own vision of the adopted monument. The aim of the second action, relations between European values and the universals, is to accompany students in understanding the mutual relations between different universal values, antagonism, relative importance, identifying the place of the European values. The last action of this module, following the annual theme of Open Monuments, presents students with the annual theme of Open Monuments event, describing the reason for it, its link with European values, and also showing examples from the past years. In the Module 3, School of Heritage Community Building and Empowerment, the general objective is to present students with basic methods and tools for building the heritage community, structuring actions to bring together the most active and interested parts of the citizenship, to share responsibilities and knowledge, as well as to involve new potential target groups. The DELPHI competencies that the module aims at are competence number 2, competence number 15. To do this, 3 different educational actions are foreseen. The first action, Thesaurus, a community-fueled resource, is an on-site action led directly by the students and consists of the engagement of local heritage community in the use of the Thesaurus platform through a scenario workshop. The second action, Heritage Community-Wise, Show me what you can do for your heritage, directed by the students, consists of the involvement of the heritage community in the care of cultural values related to heritage through a public citizens-wise talk. The talk is led by a facilitator, and participants are invited to present some intervention proposal to enhance the value of their cultural heritage. The feasibility of the intervention proposal is firstly submitted to the Heritage Community Grand Jury, a jury composed by representatives of academia, professionals, and the local community. Then, on the Thesaurus platform, it could be voted by Heritage Community. The last action of this module, called In Action, Empowering Heritage Communities, aims to give public visibility through photographic contests to interventions of maintenance of cultural heritage. Thesaurus platform, recording the state of the sites over time, serves in this case to give a public periodic monitoring. The project Thesaurus gives also the name to a heritage crowdsourcing platform, currently under planning, able to outsource portions of scientific research to a large number of people. Crowdsourcing is a crowd plus outsourcing. In addition to this function, common also to similar platforms like Wikipedia, Wikimedia, or more focused on cultural heritage such as Zooniverse or Micropasts, Thesaurus sums further tools, suitable for the education and focused on co-creation of heritage interpretation. For this simulation, in the light of the experience already gained, all these different functions are carried out through different providers, with open source programs. Mainly the Google Suite, archiving and collaborative work mainly, the Sutori program for the display of timelines and management of different files. The Thesaurus platform is the place where the relationship between these actors are registered and made visible, to which specific levels of access and task correspond. So far, the final results obtained by different experiences are a general increase in the confidence of local communities in the scientific approach to cultural heritage, greater social cohesion around European values, and a significant increase in citizens' empowerment, especially in relation to heritage protection. All these results are assessed mainly with qualitative methods, peer review, questionnaires. From another point of view, the experiences already gained within the project show how mutual recognition and the ability to listen to conflicting stakeholders is the most important step to build the heritage community. Even when this happens, the results are almost never lasting, especially when it comes to political stakeholders. Thank you for listening.